How do you balance hormones and lose weight during menopause? I know it's a little frustrating. It definitely is frustrating. And I felt that way too. I really did. And there are a few things I'm going to talk about today, and that is, menopause, but also, blood sugar as well and insulin, because that is a hormone. And this really will go towards anybody anyway, but menopause really does change the game, really, in terms of you've got your estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. They all shift, right, when you hit that time. And then that impacts the way your body stores fat, uses energy, regulates sleep and cravings and things like that. So your hormone has this cascading effect that happens. So you've got to be really in tune with what you're doing, even more so than what you used to when you were younger. So, but really, it's about blood sugar control, and also insulin, right? So stabilizing your blood sugar is key, because when we eat, it raises insulin, right? So and it's really hard to lose weight then, but also when insulin raises it because insulin is a hormone, it actually disrupts all the other hormones as well too. So when you're going through menopause, it is really, really important to stabilize your blood sugar level throughout the whole day. And that's the key. It really, really is the key. So, when insulin is steady, it stabilizes out the rest of your hormones. And really, in the end, what actually works is getting into some good routines. Eating regularly, eating foods that don't spike your blood sugar. You need to be like a little bit of low carb, but you actually need to group your foods together properly as well. Ideally you want to be eating for weight loss, and that's going to actually help you with your hormones as well and stabilizing those out. So when you're eating your main meals, you have your fruit with your main meals, because fruit has carbohydrates in it. And if you have that as a snack, it's going to raise your insulin, right? And then it sends out all the other hormones out of whack as well too. So the whole idea is to get this base right, of eating right, so your insulin isn't spiking, and then upsetting all the other hormones. So you want to eat real food. And you want to be, if you are hungry, you snack on things like protein, fat, and things of like things that are kind of higher in fat. So, and you want to have a lot of fiber in your diet, because when we go through menopause as well, our digestion slows down. We don't digest food like we used to. So fiber is really, really, really important, okay, to get those things moving. Also, movement is important, more so as when we were younger. Moving the body, walking, definitely doing strength training. It's not essential, right? But when we get older, we start to lose muscle mass. Osteopenia, osteoporosis, we're more prone to that. As we age, we're more prone to falls. And then, there's a lot of research saying that, once you have a fall, you're more likely to kick the bucket, basically. So we got to really, really dial in on our own health as we age, more so than what we used to when we were younger. Stress is a massive one as well too, that we've got to really, because all our hormones are fluctuating well as well, and that makes us more internally stressed. So we've got to really, really kind of check in on ourselves and be really self-aware with what we're eating, what we're doing for sleep, what we're doing for movement, what we're doing for, stress relief, or how we get on top of stress. Also, and then that has an effect on sleep as well. Sleep has this cascading effect as well. And if you're not all lining them all up, that has an effect on your sleep. And then there's this kind of, thing that goes around, and then your body just gets out of sync as well. And then that makes it harder to lose weight. And then it just goes on and on and on. But the most important things are those things like, eating proper foods at the right time, having protein because it's going to help you with your muscle mass, eating fiber. So you're going to the toilet and excretiating those hormones that are kind of going around your body as well too. We don't want to be raising insulin regularly, because that upsets the hormones when you're going through menopause as well. Movement's really important, strength training, stress and sleep. So you've got to be, constantly looking at those things all the time. And then, if we're not looking at those things, that's when we start to get really unhealthy. And as we age and go through menopause, it's more on top of that. So yeah, you've really got to be dialed in with that sort of stuff. So always learning about your health. It's really, really important. So, but thanks for chiming in, and we'll see you next week for Wednesday Wellness.